Hi, Subhash.
Hello, hi Sri. Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, I think most of the people are in
Yeah, I
the
was
session.
there too.
Yeah.
I was there too. So
Yes.
I thought, good. I just saw your message. So should we wait for a minute or so? I think it's wrapping
Uh,
up.
yes, he's wrapping up.
I'm okay to. Yeah, I'm okay to wait. So
Yes.
how do I share the? Can you see my video? Can you see me?
Yes. Yes, I can see you. I can hear you clearly.
Okay. And how do I share? You will be sharing or I'll share?
You can share. You have all permissions. Do you see?
So you will take care of the the this thing, no, or the chat. I'm not
Yes.
looking at that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I
So,
don't want.
Subhash, you want questions to be asked in between, or
Yeah,
should I
yeah,
keep?
yeah. Maybe at every stage I'll give a pause and take
Okay.
questions. Unless
Okay.
there is something very specific, you will know. I'm okay to be interrupted.
Okay. I'll keep it handy. So
Yeah,
maybe whenever you ask, you pause. I will.
sure. But I can't find the share option.
Okay, just a minute. Let me.
Can you see now? You should be able to. Those of you who are here, we're just waiting for the keynote speaker to finish. Yeah, thanks, Shweta. So maybe we'll take a minute or so for Satish to come back and help us to get started off. Yeah, thank you. We're just waiting for the moderator to join back. We'll take a minute. Yeah. Thank you for your patience. Moderators, should we start or should we wait? Shiva, Murli, Anil, or Rajni? I can see 45 of them waiting, so I don't want to keep them waiting. Yeah, let's start, Arpan. Yeah, thank you. Can you see my screen? I think, sure, great. So while people are still joining, I'll go into the presentation mode in a minute. Just to set the context, my name is Subhash CV. I'm the founder at Regal Unlimited. It's a professional coaching and coach training mentoring boutique firm based out of Bangalore with operations elsewhere. I have been a professional coach for the 10th year now, and before that, I spent 2 decades in corporate roles. 18 out of 21 years in business P&L and sales related roles. So I've managed teams 18 out of the 21 years. I made a transition to become an entrepreneurship. Divine grace, looking back, that I found coaching. I knew this is what is my calling, my purpose in life, something that I kind of now work with leaders to enable them to find out. So I split my time between coaching and coach training, the ICF method. Yeah, so we're going to look at three elements, as you can see the opening slide. There is something about growth mindset. There's something about mindset, number two, and number three, coaching. Now, growth mindset is a topic that I'm very sure that all of you are very familiar with. And that's not an area that I'm going to dwell deep into because I'll be repeating a lot of stuff that you might already know. Then it is mindset. Now, if you visualize these three topics in a golden triangle, growth mindset is at the bottom, mind or the mindset is at the top for me. And it's not mindset alone, it is mind and beyond the mind. And that's a topic that fascinates me. Also partly because I'm also a certified healer, but that's more like my personal journey in the spiritual space at a very, very deep personal space. And I enjoy being a not so active, but more a passive healer. So the mind or manas and chitti and buddhi, chitta vitra nirodha of yoga, all that fascinates me. The third is coaching. And I'm here more as a professional coach who can. Satish, we just started off because if you want to add, so I just written the context, then I'll come back to you.
No
So
problem.
between growth mindset versus fixed mindset, or just mindset or just mind as the top of the triangle, or coaching. Yeah, these are three elements that I'll kind of play around with a bit. But the reason why I'm sure I'm invited to speak here is because I'm a professional coach. So that's my core competency, and I'm going to stay there. Satish, anything you want to start? Otherwise, I'll jump into the next slide.
Subhash, can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you an introduction, but somehow I was thrown out of the session. So sorry about
Yeah,
that.
no problem, no problem. I think anyway, I'm here for the second time. Good to see Vijay. So I'm sure there's a lot of familiar faces. Should we jump?
Thank you, Subhash, for joining
Sure.
us, and welcome to you formally. And it
Thank
is
you.
my honor to introduce Subhash to all of them, and I hope everybody knows you here. So to give little background about Subhash, so Subhash has 25 years of rich experience. He's a leadership coach. He worked in different parts of India. Played different roles, leadership roles. Uh, he's a business owner. He's a mentor coach. He has created many coach-centric workplaces and worked with several C-level executives as well. So, so Subhash, I'll not delay anything. So maybe you can go ahead. I'll not disturb your session. But everybody, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. When Subhash gives a pause, I will collect the questions and I will ask for on your behalf.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Subhash.
Satish. Yeah, thank you. So I'm going into the presentation mode. So, these are three things that we look at. Feel free to interrupt anytime, Satish. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, We are here almost 10, 11 minutes into the program, into the session. Having chosen to be here, this is what I'll invite you to be for the next 48 minutes, right? I'll try to wrap up well before the 1 hour slot and take a lot of questions. I want you to please ask a lot of questions. I have wealth of stories, experiences from my coaching practice. So I would be very delighted to share that in the context of the topic that we're covering today. Yeah. Uh, it's there's not going to be theoretical rendition because I'm not somebody who can give gyan on either the concept that we're going to discuss today, nor on positivity as a coach. Yeah, more of a professional discovery of development together in this, right? So I'm going to more delve into the third element of this particular slide. So, quick question. Now, I want you to, I'll try to make it minimum interactive. At the same time, I've kept it very simple. Now, a disclosure at this stage is that I'm someone, friends here know that I'm someone who passionately chases simplicity. Everything that I do, I chase simplicity. Sometimes to the irritation of people around me, including my family, my colleagues, and my clients and coach trainees. Yeah, but I feel simplicity is true test of mastery. So I'm very clear why I do that. And Michelangelo says simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. My spiritual teacher says simplicity is the best city. Now, even that code, you find simplicity. That's what inspires me. So go to the chat box quickly, answer this question. All the answers here, I request you to, answer in 0 or 1. We are all techies here, most of you, not me. So I want all of you to please just say 0 or 1. Over the last 6 months, have you picked up a new skill, language, game, or hobby? 1, 1, 1. I can see a lot of ones. So many of you have picked up something new in the last 6 months. Perhaps 6 months ago, we were at the peak of COVID. Yes, something new, learned a lot is not acceptable. It's something new. For example, I don't sing. I choose to go and learn Carnatic music. Somebody in our community yesterday shared that I picked up my old calligraphic passion and shared a picture in our WhatsApp group. That is something on my bucket list to go and learn calligraphy. Something I've never done in my life. Yeah, park this question. We'll come back to this later as to why we looked at it. And all questions that I'm going to ask, I'm going to make it simple. Please answer in 0 and 1. I really want to applaud the gathering here. I can say almost 90-95% says 1, which means you have done something phenomenally important. No wonder today, so many of you are here to travel with me on this path to explore what is growth mindset. Now, I said I'm going to kind of weave this conversation around coaching. So many of you would know this, but just to refresh, these are the key words. Coaching, the ICF way, is about partnering. It's about a conversation between two equals. There is no boss and subordinate. There is no parent and child, right? Whether figuratively or metaphorically. Not as a parent at home, nor as a boss at work, right? Where you assume a parental position. It's a process. I'm assuming most of you here are techies, so this will fascinate you. It's a process. It's a very scientific process, well researched, but it's also creative. It goes beyond the realm of creative. And again, one of some of the greatest artists, greatest uh, scientists are also true artists. So it's a creative and a thought-provoking process. Does it do? It inspires your clients. And what is the outcome? Maximize potential. Now, for me, this is not about performance. Performance is a collateral benefit of coaching. If a coach is focusing on performance, whether as a professional coach in my case, or a lot of agile scrum masters here, if you're looking at performance, even if your client demands it, then that is a fixed mindset. But when you're taking it beyond something that is just performance or something tactical, something transformational, that is potential. So I see a lot of resonance between coaching and the concept that we're going to discuss today, the growth mindset. Now, how can coaching enable either us individuals or the teams that we work with or organizations to make this transition in a very different way? Just again, simplicity, I've broken this into 4 elements. This is listen, see, act, and be. These are the 4 methodologies that can enable individuals, teams, and organizations to make this transition. Yeah. Now, I'm from Bangalore, so that's why though, I'm sure all of you know the background about this. This is paraphrased into this, right? Talent, I don't like it, but talent likes me. To paraphrase a famous dialogue from that film KGF 2. Question to you again. Here it is not 0 or 1, maybe a word or 2 maximum. How do you want people to, acknowledge you? How do you want people to acknowledge you? Just go and just, I'm not even giving a clue. I'll give a clue after you start making some comments. How do you want people, anyone in a circle to acknowledge you? Please note a word or a phrase that, for example, one example that you're smart, you're good, you're creative. So, what are those adjectives that people attribute to you in your work or at home or in a community? Good person, kind, capable. Yeah, he has made a positive difference. I hope it's not about the hero. Inspiring, supportive, awesomeness, simple. Yeah, courage or courageous, helpful, calm listener. Yeah, let it keep coming. I want to add one more element to that. How many of you talk about your innate capabilities? Yeah, that is about what you are rather than what you do. What you are, that is, you're creative, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're exceptional, you're courageous, and what you do. Does anyone support you about what you do? Active listener, supportive, organized. Yeah. Yeah, organized is something impactful, supportive. Yeah. Why is it important in the context of this conversation? Generally, what we get to hear, unfortunately, is something like you're smart, you're intelligent, you're creative, you're cool, right? That's something that we would hear from our kids. But very few people say that you try hard, you work hard. There is very few focus on the process. There is very little focus on the effort. There is little focus on the milestones, the methodologies. And that is the primary fundamental difference between the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Yeah, I think I missed one slide. Okay. 1 second, pardon for that. Okay, there's one slide that is missing here. Okay. Now, the fundamental difference here is that we don't appreciate about what people do. Now, very philosophical line I want to give you here. That is very spiritual. I mean, so don't get me wrong. That's something that resonates a lot with me. So I'm taking liberty with you all to say this. Somebody said, the talent that you have been bestowed with is God's gift to you. Yeah, whatever you're born with, the prodigious element of your DNA. Yeah, the prodigious element of your DNA is God's gift to you. And what you do with it is your gift to God. You can replace that with parents, universe, whatever is an equivalent of God. And I'm not thrusting religion on anyone, but what we do with that is the effort. It's about the process. Now, Nanda, when he made the opening comments, said those 3 elements of the document that he mentioned: focus on the objective, be flexible, and help self-manage. For me, this is about all the 3. but at a deeper level. Yeah. How do you do that from a concept of listening? As coaches, or as all of your coaches too, you all are working in the realm of coaching. So, as a coach, you are already listening. There are 4 levels of listening. Yeah, the fourth level is, you're listening to the environment. The other levels of listening is that you're listening to what the client is saying, what the client is not saying. You're looking at the tonality, the voice modulation. I'm sure those of you are trained here as coaches or anything related to coaching knows about 4 elements of coaching. But I wanted to focus on intuition. That is, for me, the highest level of growth mindset. If you're able to tap into your intuition as a professional, as an agile tech scrum master, whatever you're working in the area of work today, if you're able to tap into intuition, then you are performing at a growth mindset. But if you're not tapping into that intuition, you're not operating at your full potential. Full potential as defined in the ICF definition of coaching, which is what we do. So if I'm working with a client as an effort to maximize his or her full potential, personal and professional, I need to work on my own potential. Every day is a choice that I'm making to maximize potential. And one of them as a professional is, how do I tap into intuition? I'll give you a quick one example. I had a APAC head of one of these big five who called me. He was on the coach certification journey with us. He called me when I was abroad, saying that, I have a set of data which prompts me to make a decision as point number A, and there is an alternative point number B, which is what my gut says. We use the word gut in relation to intuition. He said, I want a help to identify which I should choose. And I'm overseas. I'm on an overseas call, so I was more mindful of the Airtel ticking. So he knew that I'm abroad. So we had a quick 10-minute conversation. As a professional coach, as someone whom I'm mentoring him, somebody who's far more accomplished, a dear friend now, is a PCC. We had just a discussion on pros and cons. Then I left with him. I'm not telling you to choose A or B, nor any decision is being thrust on you. I want you to go by what the gut says now, or best thing is sleep on it today. Go by the decision that comes to you tomorrow. But let me know, I said. The next day he sent me a WhatsApp saying that I went by what the option B. It would have been very, very safe for me to go with A, but my gut said B. I was taking a big risk. At an APAC position, he was taking a very big risk. And he had issues with his boss. So he was not sure that if something falls flat, whether he would get the support of his management. But something told him, that's what the transition that he was making as a professional coach, where the leadership was also as part of his DNA. He went with B, which was a major success subsequently. He was just taking some raw decision based on his gut. But one of the questions that I asked him is that this decision has to be beyond your ego. This has to be beyond your short-term goal and success. This has to be definitely beyond your annual appraisal and your next promotion. But this has to be something transformational impact. That is what a leader should do. These are some of the elements that we do. He was tapping into his intuition. He was aware there is an option B. Many situations we are not aware of option A. Yeah. Another lady who is part of a community at the end of ACC journey, the level 1 of a coach training for ICF. So when we took the feedback end of the session, she might be here for some reason as a participant. She said, I can listen to my body better. And she has no background on ontological coaching, just as I have no background. So both of us are not, exposed to that. But she has developed that muscle in her where she's able to listen to that intuition. So if you are not intuitive as a leader, as a professional, as a technology leader, then it doesn't help. Yeah. Satish, any question at this stage?
Only one, Subhash.
Yeah.
from Chandan. How to determine growth and development over the course of depth analysis? How to
Frankly,
determine?
depth analysis for me is Latin and Greek. So if you can tell me what depth analysis, Satish, you or someone else, or if you can unmute him, or I don't know. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No other
Chandan, you want to
question?
add anything to the question? If you are hearing.
So I'm familiar with blue ocean strategy to the fishbone and a lot of other stuff, but not about the depth analysis. Yeah. Maybe it's very specific technique. The Scrum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So
Cool.
we
Cool.
will. Yeah. Yes, Satish.
That's also Subhash. You can continue.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Thank you. So you know, the question that I want to leave here as I move to the next one on C is let us attract more acknowledgement of what we do, the process. Yeah, not the outcomes. Outcome, like the definition of ICF that I said, is something that is a collateral benefit. And for me, that is classical coaching. Moving into the next one. How can coaching help you see differently? Very often, right? We kind of say I'm introvert or extrovert. I'm good with numbers and bad with creativity. Or I'm a caring mother. I'm a strict disciplinarian, right? Whether at work or at home. No, some as a father, even just as a parent, I'm more caring. I'm not strict. I'm not tough. But you take extreme positions. Do you agree? A lot of technology leaders that I know say that I'm just left brain. I'm good at technology. I'm good at numbers. I'm not good at this thing. At art. Some personal example. You know, when my son was just in first standard, we moved from Delhi to Bombay by choice. I joined ICICI Bank when ICICI Bank was making that foray into retail banking under Mr. KV Kamath. So I didn't want to be in North, I wanted to be in Bombay. I wanted him to grow up in only one kid. So initial days at ICICI Bank, I hardly supported my wife or him in his education in that first 4, 5, 6 years till I moved abroad. Then they also joined me. I was good in maths. My wife, she's a BA philosophy and psychology student. She carried somewhere that I'm not good with numbers. So I've done BCom. I've done a little bit of ICWA during my BCom days, management. So bit of number crunching, and I've worked in BFSA, banking and financial services, where number crunching is no escape. Right? You're totally always number crunching across all roles. But I can see my brilliant child, very smart in his academics. Somewhere he picked up that I'm not good with numbers. Again, I'm linking this. I link this in the next slide. Yeah, how how we kind of he wanted to go into CA. He dumped CA and he's gone into the law, and he's flourishing. Both in LLB and LLM masters now. But somewhere I regret that that the right brain, the number cruncher in him could not be nurtured by me as a responsible father. I'm giving a very small personal example. You will find hundreds, thousands of such examples around us. What we do is we just assume that I'm not good at the way I am. Main aisa hi kyun hu? The famous line from Hrithik Roshan's movie. This is what I always have. This is the way I always handle things. It is shocking that we have extrapolated this even into our leadership. There's this famous article by Daniel Goldman, the guru of empathy, emotional intelligence. He says, based on emotions, people have categorized 6 types of leadership. One of them is autocratic, of course. One of them is democratic. One of them is coaching, obviously. But it's my style of leadership. Whereas leadership is always about the people that you're leading. How can it be my way of coaching when coaching, leading is always about others. Yeah. Again, a quick example. I'm sure all of you here who are techies would know this example. This was the day when Steve Ballmer left and Satya Nadella took over. This is a research. This is from a report. This was considered to be the Microsoft organization hierarchy. Now, if at all you're smiling, laughing, take a time to look around. There are a lot of such hierarchies and teams around us. Trust me. I work with leaders. I know what happens. No, I know the problem that leaders faces. I know the mask that we wear. A lot of us are going after performances at the cost of others. So this is not something that is very specific to Microsoft. This is a global phenomenon. We are all looking at others because somewhere the corporate has become about performance and going up the ladder. Nothing wrong with it. 21 years I've spent. I've had great ups and downs in my corporate career. No judgment there, but this is the reality. So, as agile leaders, as Scrum Masters, if you're going to nurture a millennial population, if you're going to touch lives of Generation Z and the later generation, I don't know what they're going to call after A to Z, the next generation, you can't nurture this style of leadership. It has to be growth mindset. And thanks to Satya, it's a $1 trillion company today. Coaching is deeply embedded into Microsoft. My mentor works with them very closely in the US. And it's today it is upheld as one of the beautiful examples of growth mindset. Satya personally is credited, right? And Satya is not, no disrespect. He is no Amazon CEO or some of the other rock star CEOs or even his own predecessor at Microsoft. But he's a leader who walks the talk on growth mindset. And this is just a beautiful example. How do you see yourself as a person then? As a leader, as a consultant, as a professional? Yeah. Again, this is from Devdutt Patnaik. I told you I can't escape spirituality. A lot of organizations are chasing performance and numbers. This is the curse of corporate or anything that is organized, including governments. One of my favorite quote attributed to Simon Sinek is leadership in politics is about the next elections. Great leaders, transformation leaders, look at the next generation. Look around. How many political leaders around us today are looking beyond the next elections? Again, no disrespect. I'm not taking sides of any politics. Every politician is constrained by by their need to look at the next election. One of my favorite authors, thought leader, Brené Brown, who speaks about authenticity, she says, we get leaders we tolerate. Extrapolate the politics into corporate into your teams, into the ecosystem that we are part of every ecosystem. We all are chasing performance. Nothing wrong in it. That is fixed mindset. It's a choice that you have to make. So from tomorrow, every time you're going to look at business success parameters as the be all end all, be remembered that we are chasing a fixed mindset. Some transformational efforts, leadership efforts, some training efforts, some mentoring efforts, consulting efforts look at behaviors. We don't go beyond behaviors. But at the core, it's always about the belief that we carry. It's every belief that is impacting our behavior and in turn the positive outcome. So coaching, the classical coaching, the way we practice as ICF coaches, look at beliefs. The coaches are trained to look at the beliefs. And I can see, I saw some familiar names here who are part of our cohorts and communities. We all, when we set the goals, then we move into the next stage of exploration. There is a focus on explore underlying beliefs, biases, and everything that is holding back your client. When I say client, everyone that you're working with, whether at work, at home, or in community. Yeah? Just to, if you have kind of dozed off, a question 0 or 1. The question 2 is, this is my favorite statement. I want you to answer yes or no. If you agree, yes, it is 1. If you disagree, say 0. My question is, every every belief, the first one is a limiting belief. Yes or no? Just go and type. If you agree with me, yes, 1. If you don't agree, 0. Don't be influenced by the initial responses. No herd mentality. Yeah, I can see most of them 1 and few 0. Let me back it up with a quick example. If a client says, when I say client, I'm talking in terms of coaching scenario. Client says, you ask the client, how's it going? He says, awesome, great. How's been your last month or last financial year or last quarter? Right? We just ended the June quarter. He says, the best quarter. Is that a limiting belief or no? Please go back and again answer fresh. When your leader says it's the best quarter, is it limiting belief or no? I can say 2 once. Yeah, it is a limiting belief. I can see I'm interacting with a very evolved community. Thank you for all those ones. It is a limiting belief because the moment I said that was the best quarter, you have just restricted yourself to the belief that something better cannot happen. Something bigger can happen. I'm working with a fellow coach from Luxembourg. She's an MCC, far more accomplished, experienced than me as a coach. But ICF platform allows us reciprocal coaching. So I don't know what curiosity factor she hired me. And I had my 5th session yesterday. Last 4 sessions has been, she's coming out of hell. Yeah, and I also want to underline the fact that we coaches also get into this hole. That's why we all need coaches. Even we need coaches and mentors and supervisors. We are constantly talking. We're talking to fellow coaches, and now I pick up at random and discuss anything that I feel. Whether it is my wife at home, my son, my colleagues who are half my age, but I'm still bouncing and reflecting because I feel that that's the best way to be in the growth mindset. Yeah. Now, 5th session yesterday, she said, I've made the transition thanks to you. And I said, I kept pushing back all the compliments, but I said, it's a process ultimately. You trusted the process as a fellow coach who's more experienced. You're giving undue credit to me, but God bless you. But she said, I'm walking on water. This is the best scenario I could have imagined. I said, isn't that a limiting belief? She it was like, bulb on moment for her. She said, what do you mean by limiting belief? She said, I've come out of 4 months of suffering and the period before that. I said, how does it get better than that? What else is possible? Yeah. So, I just need this, sorry for that. So it's important that we are constrained by multiple limiting beliefs. I'm giving an example of a fellow coach deliberately because it's a very accomplished audience here, going by your whole response, right? I'll run through a couple of more before I go to act. Satish, any question, comment, alternate point of view, anything that they don't agree?
There are 3 questions, Subhash.
We'll take those
First,
3 and then we move. Yeah, only those 3.
one from Harish, Hari Krishnan Sukumaran. What can we do to develop the courage to follow your intuition when the people around you are sometimes not supportive or aligned to your point of view?
Yeah, great question, Harish. Thank you for that. Yeah, brilliant question. Is the other 2 related or unrelated?
No, it is not related.
Yeah, great question, Harish. And I'm frankly, when I said I know I'm talking to a very accomplished community here, this is the proof of the pudding. I didn't want to jump into as a coach and recommend what you should do. I thought if the group is with me here, then I would rather answer this question. And I'm sure if one person is asking, it should have crossed multiple minds. For me, to tap into intuition, the word you use, courage, is very important. You have to be courageous to start tapping into your intuition. There's absolutely no escape from that. Number 2, it is a muscle that you build. It's not that it's a 0 to 1. It's something that you make the transition to from 0 to 1. It's a journey by itself. But again, as my friends here would have heard me say this multiple times, don't romanticize this journey. This journey is about multiple small milestones. So you take small tests. I would recommend start experimenting. That would be my third point. Experimenting with what is personal, and this is an example that I have done to build my intuition initial days. I'm still building. I'm not an expert. When I the Bangalore traffic. I don't need to tell anyone. When I get out of my gate of our apartment, there are two options to go to the city. One is through the ITPL. The other one is Old Madras Road. I have a specific preference to go Old Madras Road because I love to drive. I've handled car loans right through my life. No, I'm not an automotive buff, but I love to drive and I love a good machine. But I know most of the time, except the peak hours, ITPL is a better road. I don't look at the Google map. I just tap into the intuition. I just ask myself, which one should I go? The first answer that comes, without allowing the monkey mind to interfere, I take the choice. This is a real test. A lot of my coach trainees who have gone through my programs early days know this example. I'm repeating this. This is one small example. How do you know which is the right one? How just feel? Do you feel light or heavy? Just be mindful. Like that lady who said after her ACE journey from our community, and Harish, maybe I'll connect you with her since you are from our community. She said, "I feel light at a being level." Yeah. So every question that makes you feel light is a proof of the fact that you're tapping into intuition. Extend that. Take small risks at work. You will fail. You will be pushed back. But the day you have tapped into that, you'll be 10x more powerful. I heard the keynote speaker saying that I want to be the first blind president of India. I got goosebumps. He told that to Dr. Kalam, one of the most loved and respected leaders. Right? We can be somebody as powerful as that the day we start tapping into the intuition. Then it is a journey. Don't romanticize it at the cost of repetition. But it is a fascinating journey, I can tell you. So when I said I'm a certified healer and spirituality is my interest, that is the area where I'm building my muscle. Yeah. Back to you, Satish.
Yes, Subhash. Thank you for answering. The next question from Nagesh Reddy Allah. How to develop intuition where we take right decisions or to achieve positive results?
So, Nagesh, don't be obsessed with the need to get positive results. That is, it's a fixed mindset. It becomes your need for a positive result. Just trust, because if you're tapping your intuition, there is no the binary of positive or negative results. It's just result. Everything will be positive, and that itself is integral to trusting your intuition. Yeah. So just trust the process there. Trust. Take risk. When I use Harikrishn's word of courage, leadership is courageous. No, you all would have heard this. If you can't be a leader, go and sell ice cream, right? Selling ice cream is also as tough today. Yeah. There is also this quote that leadership is like a crown of thorns, right? Leadership was never easy. That's why I've heard of statistics that only 2% of adult population are leaders. Rest of them are, they are kind of followers. Most of them are followers. A small percentage are aspire leaders. So trust the process. My answer is same as the previous question. Enjoy the journey. It's never the destination. And what you feel is wrong today, when you're trusting the intuition, because it's not selfish, right? It is not like I told that APAC Big Five leader. It has to be beyond your ego needs, your selfish motive. As long as it is selfless, you'll never go wrong. That is part of trusting the intuition. It's a fascinating topic for another day. Back to Satish.
Yes, Subhash. Question from Hemant.
Thanks, Nagesh.
How should we
Yes, sir.
coach someone's willingness? Is it really possible?
So, two answers for that. First one is, my preference is for coach clients who are ready to coach. Yeah, I'm very specific to that because, frankly, as a student of marketing, I wasted some energy, bandwidth, time, and money educating the market. Somewhere, the results were not so good. Maybe I was not doing it right. So I am always looking for a willing client. Second part to the answer, when corporates hire us, 50-60% of my work is with corporates. The corporate identifies the leader and they convince the leader and they put him or her in front of us. Very often, they are far more accomplished because I work with C-suite. They are accomplished in every sense, right? On all parameters, worldly parameters that you can think of. And then I have to start building the rapport and building. But there I give a couple of sessions. The reason is, if I expect the client to be ready or willingness from the word go, no. It's a relationship that need to be nurtured. 9 out of 10 clients, corporate clients, are in that category. They don't, first of all, they don't feel the need for coaching. They feel it is either their boss or HR has thrust me into this. And then why am I forced into this? No, some of them, some alpha males think that I am God's gift to humanity. Why the hell I should be here? What the hell this guy is going to do for me? But from there, you make a shift. Typically, in second session, exceptional cases, third session, the client would have kind of made the transition. If it doesn't happen, then we don't continue. That's what ICF Code of Ethics demand. At some stage, when the coach or the client feels that it's not working, both of them have a responsibility. Client has a right to call it off. So avoid clients who are not willing, if you can. Be patient with the client to build that willingness. It's a relationship that you nurture right through the engagement and beyond. It's like every other relationship. Every other relationship. We take relationship with our wife, mom, parents, spouse, wife or husband, kids, siblings, right? We take this relationship for granted. You can't do that with a coaching client. You can't do that with any relationship. Please don't take any relationship for granted. Every relationship is commitment. Yeah. So as long as you build the relationship, again, the golden triangle, quite similar to the what you see the screen. You have the coach, you're the client. When I say coach, I'm also talking about the leader, the professional that each one of you here. It's also about the client, whether at the individual team, company sponsored, self sponsored, whatever, profit, not for profit. But it is not client centricity. That's a mistake a lot of people do. Client centricity, you just pass on all your rights to them. No, it is about the topmost post of B, that position, where it is partnering. That is the ICF definition says. ICF definition is not about pure client centric. Of course, it is not coach centric, but it is about partnering, and that is mastery. That's what we learn. That's what I learned as a MCC, Master Certified Coach, and I'm still a learner. I'm a bigger student than other learners with me, right? Yeah, thanks for that question. Satish, in the interest of time, I'll run through a couple of slides
Yes,
and
there are
then,
a couple of questions, Subhash.
yeah,
We'll
we'll
take
come
it.
back. Yeah, sure. So now about ACT. Now, I told you, the way we practice coaching, both as an individual coaches, team coaches, or when we train coaches, there are three buckets to every conversation. First one is the session goal. It's setting the goal and then moving to that. Then it is about, I heard Nanda saying, focus on the objective. That is the goal. What is the objective of this session? That's actually pretty much the opening question. What do you want to accomplish in this session? That's a scripted line from ICF methodology. What do you want to accomplish in this session? So we identify the goal, go deeper, a lot of exploration happens. Then we move into the exploration that I spoke of, beliefs, biases, everything that is withholding the client, everything that is within the client that is stopping. We don't allow any bullshitting around, the external factors. You can't blame the boss, you can't blame the parent, you can't blame your early education. My father wanted me to become an engineer and I'm here as an agile professional. No, it's all about holding the mirror to the client saying that what is in your control. That, there's a lot of deep exploration that happens. The third stage is action. Having managed line management role as a sales guy, business guy, this fascinates me, which is the third level, which is act. You can't walk away with the intellectual awareness of exploration. Bulb on moment, wow, I am walking on water and get out. No, it has to translate into action. And that is what coaching can do. Yeah. The problem is we know. One common topic that comes in a lot of our conversations in practice training is I want to lose weight. I want to read more. A lot of my clients, a lot of my fellow coaches bring this topic that I want to come out of binge watching. You know, I'm trained not to be judgmental, right? That's a muscle I'm building. But I sympathize, empathize with the client. How can you be a coach or a leader if you not have that self-control? And for me, self-control is deeply spiritual. If I don't have control on me at a being level, which is the fourth stage, how can I be a leader? How can I be a coach? Those of us who are familiar with Mahabharata, we know this classic statement. This guy says, right, the Kaurava leader, I know what is wrong, but I can't do that. So knowing is not enough. Acting is important. So if I know that I need to lose weight, one of the biggest lessons of the pandemic is that if we thought that I have this lifestyle, this is like a diabetes or any ailment related to lifestyle, right? I'll just manage taking this thing, medicines, and within that, right? You're wrong. I think that is for me the biggest lesson. And I know a lot of people who have moved on into the next realm, where those people who had some of these lifestyle diseases, including some very close relatives. So we have lost the luxury of not acting on the knowledge that we have. I'm not trying to scare anyone here. I am not making anyone guilt, because I was very comfortable pre-diabetic for the last 3 years. My family knows, some of my close friends knows. Last 6 months, I've taken affirmative actions to move, below the thing. And my physician always said, "You sleep, I'll put you on medicine." That is his threat to me. But I'll manage for 3-4 years, right through the COVID. But I said, no, I don't have the luxury to do that. Anyone who is overweight here, anyone who is suffering from binge watching, anyone who has taken some relationship for granted, you're not acting on the knowledge that I have to create that balance. Yeah. Then how can you, if you start making those steps, that is the first step. That is the classical lesson on parenting. No, don't teach, just be a role model. Don't tell the children what to do. No, Carol Dweck, Professor Dr. Carol Dweck, who's pioneer in growth mindset, her whole research is on children. And at some stage, we all are children within us. Though we have just lost out the beauty of the childhood, we have just become those, we have brought in multiple masks, not this mask. And we blame society, to family, to corporate, the work that we have to do. So the first thing to do is, what are the masks that we can get rid of? I'm saying we, because that includes me. There are still masks that I'm getting rid of. It's like peeling the onion. Yeah. This again based on a research. Small example from education. I know a lot of your youngsters. I have a grown-up kid. My son is, done his master's now, grown-up kid. Even when he talks about, tells me that, Papa, I've passed in my master's or in my LLB. He knows my next question is, what is the percentage? I'm being very open here, because I always felt that he had in him the ability to get gold medal, but he just did not chase it because it was my need, though I didn't force him to do it at all. There is the research which says in trial 1, where there was this level of failure, it kind of dropped when the intelligence was praised. You're smart, you're cool, you're intelligent. But when the effort was praised, this just went up. Yeah, this comes from a research. I can share with Satish what is the source, but this is something that is backed by research. So the question to each one of us here who've got young kids at home is, when somebody comes with the marks, are you looking at the performance or at the potential? My classic struggle as a parent is at every moment, can I look at my son's potential, though he's a grown up boy today? Every interaction with my wife, can I make it adult to adult as a two equal? She's a partner in my firm. She's my Ardhangini. I'm very clear from my spiritual realm, but can I practice it? Yeah. Now, how can people you can propel the clients to act differently? Only then you're kind of. I'm just skipping this in the interest of time. Yeah. Again, please make a note of this: the power of yet. There are enough resources attributed to Professor Carol Deck on the power of yet. So, a quick example is if your child comes with a fail, would you reprimand the client for the child for that, or when your team member comes with a failure, will you reprimand the team member for that, or will you look at the potential? The answer is: do you say it is pass and fail, or you say pass or not yet, or power of yet? No negative there. Please look up in the interest of time. So very typically, we say that I'm already this and that. I'm introvert, I'm extrovert, I'm this and that. No, just make this transition, make this note that I'm going to say I'm all ready. Ready for what? To grow, to learn, to fail, to explore. That is classical growth mindset. Otherwise, you're stuck at the fixed mindset. It's a choice that we make every moment. As a concluding, before I take a couple of more questions, time permitting, why are we here? A spiritual question. I strongly feel we are here to learn and grow. Let us commit ourselves to lifelong learning. Learning happens only from a space of, you know, that authenticity. So happy learning, happy growth mindset. I don't know how much time we have for questions, Satish.
Yeah, we are almost,
Done, no?
done.
Yeah, sure.
A minute.
Any question, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Thank you very much before that. And let me ask you a few questions. How to convince intuition in the data-driven world from cloud?
Great question. The data, your computers are going to do data. Data is not your strength. The story that you tell on the data is going to be your mastery. So focus on data plus story. Add intuition to that. Same Harikrishnan's answer, I'll come back. Go beyond the data that I gave the example of that APAC head friend here, right? Go beyond the data. Because a supercomputer can look at data, we can look at beyond the emotions. So for me, one line answer: go beyond IQ, which is all data and everything, go to EQ, emotional intelligence. Or if you can, tap into intuition, which is spiritual quotient. Love quotient, Jack Ma and a lot of others say. Anything. For me, it is spiritual quotient. I'm very comfortable with that phrase. So go beyond IQ to EQ, which is emotion to SQ. I mean, if you have questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to
Yeah.
connect for an answer. To answer.
So, for the interest of time, Subhash, we'll not take further questions. But thank you very much for joining us and giving us insights on
Thanks
chemistry.
everyone. Thanks the organizers for this opportunity. I'm on a hat trick. Look forward to connecting in the future. Thank you. Happy
Yeah.
learning, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Subhash.
Thank,
It's always pleasure to listen to you.
thank you, Jay. My pleasure. My honor. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.